Oh yeah, you know what that means. Corvette content. So guys, I ain't gonna lie, the Corvette has sat here and been completely neglected for about almost a year probably, other than just a few little things. It has gotten disgusting. It has gotten leaves, all kinds of nastiness in its crooks and crevices. And because I have bad seals on the tops, it is also quite musty. So we're going to fix all that today. Well, some of that today. We're definitely airing it out, charging up the battery. I'm going to be doing all the fluids on it soon. We're actually going to drive it some. Today we're going to do as many seals as we can. So I've already done the door seals. The next thing we want to look at is this rear hatch seal. This is actually good. This thing's been replaced since I got the car, and so the rear hatch seal is good. Which leaves me 3 main seals left that leak and are going to be disgusting. Number one is this main seal on the back Targa and sides. I do have a new seal for this. This main seal on the windshield, you can see this one is trashed. I don't have one of these yet. And then the 2 seals that run along the Targa top right here, I do have those. My Targa top's already off and it's sitting over on the side. So those are what we'll replace today. Look how disgusting that is. It's terrible. You're going to want to make sure you have some super Weatherstrip gasket adhesive. This stuff works pretty good. We're going to do this one first. The main thing we got to do is get this old one off, which just is a lot of ripping and tearing. There's probably a screw right there. Oh, there should be, but there's not. And then we'll see what type of glue they use, so there may be some scraping as well. Okay, quite a bit of glue it looks like, but it came off generally in one piece. This is actually a lip that this sits under, so that won't come off. Another lip. Just pull it out of that channel. And this one looked like it has back tape adhesive, which is fine. It's going to be less cleaning for us. Spider, die. Oh, he's a quick one. Now he's a dead one. All right, if you need to, these metal pieces come off through these screws right here. You can take this metal piece off and clean it. Same on these side pieces, they also have screws that'll come off and clean. The main thing is to get all this very clean. Once you get the screws out, which came out fairly easily, this will likely be done with some double-sided tape. You can see the double-sided tape. It's very thin double-sided tape, and it actually is silver right there because the tape and then the glue on the other side pulled up the paint. This isn't normally silver. Be careful, this is molded, and so as you're prying on it, you don't want to deform it in any way. And it's going to be time to clean all this. Let's get this nice and clean. As you can see, the side pieces also have that real thin layer of double-sided tape. I am going to have to get me some double-sided tape. So as you can see, I cleaned this back up. I got all the residue off. I got the double-sided tape. That's actually probably molding tape off the back side of both of these and this. Place that with some 3M molding tape. Screwed everything back down, and now these pieces are firmly on there. Molding that will replace it. See, it's molded to go into these channels. And you may ask, how the hell am I going to do that? A few inches, I'll put a dab of strip glue. I will start pressing this down in here. All I'll do is I'll put one side in and then just use my finger. As you can see, that will actually press down in there pretty easily. We'll have to stretch out just slightly, so if it looks like it doesn't fit initially, just make this is very stretchy. It'll stretch out and it'll fit. Do it. Pretty clear lumps if you didn't get it all in the channel properly. We'll work the back side and we'll do it very similarly, except you can see that the channel is obviously at a 90-degree angle versus the previous one. I'm going to put this piece in first, the back side first, and then we'll wedge this front piece in by kind of sliding it down in there, and you'll be able to see how this will go down in there like that. Like that. Make sure the front side's wedged in or it'll bulge out like this. And again, I'm going to run a small bead of the stripping glue down through there. I'll probably put a little extra in the corner here where there's no actual channel. Poofy this is where the glass comes to rest, and there's no obviously top piece to the glass, so this has to be pretty poofy for this to get tight. There's also the reason it's important to change your Targa top seal when you change this one, because this will now push my glass out just slightly. And if I have an old Targa top seal like this front window seal that needs to be replaced, then that glass is going to come out and not create a good bond or a good seal there. And at the bottom, I'll put some more glue in there, and this is just a press pin. You could probably use a screw, but I just used the original press pin, and it will go in that hole right there. Once you get a side in, you're going to want to close the door, because you're going to want that constant pressure until that glue cures. How it forms a nice, tight, watertight seal. But now the other side of this, and then we'll look at the T-top seal, or I keep calling them T-top seal, the Targa top seal. Targa top seals are right here on the end, and you can see how mine are chewed up. They are held on with a screw on the back side. Has some corrosion. I want to tear that from around that first before I try to get that screw out. I don't want to mess that up. I'm just going to rip this off. It may not come off as easily as I need. Really thought these would be the easier ones. This generally cleaned up. I'm fixing to put the screws back in. You can tell one of the screws, this backside got a little jacked up. I got a screw over here I'm gonna have to drill out to put a new one in. That broke the head off. That one's not coming out, so I didn't take these rails off. I'm fixing to put these back on. What I'm gonna do is dab the glue between the screws, and then I'll actually put a good amount of glue on the ends after I get that cleaned up and put another low coat of paint on that. It's aluminum though, so it's not, huge deal. The whole thing's going to be repainted at some point soon anyway. The easiest way to do this, I test fit one before I'm actually going to do it. The easiest way to do this is to get this bottom channel in first, get it nice and pressed in, and then go in and push this top part in as you go. A lot deeper channel. What is on the back side of the Targa top on the actual Corvette itself, so this is a little bit harder to get pressed in here. I really can't explain any other way to do this other than say to wedge this bottom piece in and then push down. And you may have to get you a little plastic to push down in there, like a little trim tool, and push that one down in place and just go all the way down slowly, making sure you have glue in areas down through there. Once you get all of these in place, you want to tighten everything down so that all the glue can set and so these can get molded the way they should. Corvette running. Let me get it backed out and we'll take a look at it here in a minute to end the video. The back on the B pillar is super easy. The seals on the hard top or on the Targa top were a lot harder than I thought they would be. You can do this in a day. Easily. I did it in 2 days just because I started really late on one day. So if you do replace one, I would go ahead and replace these as well. These are Metro is the brand I got. You can see the link down in the description for those, and check out my Amazon page. You'll see where I bought those from. See if this thing will crank up. I have not cranked this thing in 6 months at least, maybe 9. Guys, going back through the video, I realized that I didn't take any video of me cleaning up the Corvette, so we'll end the video here. Just to recap, to do those weather stripping seals, you only have to have your hands, the new seals, some weather stripping glue. In this case, I did need some 3M molding tape to put the pieces of metal back on. I've seen some Corvettes that don't have that metal, so your mileage may vary on that. And then I used a wire brush to get the residue off of the metal strips. If you don't have the metal strips, I wouldn't use a wire brush on your paint, but you can figure that out. You may just have to use some good old elbow grease. It's a super easy job, doesn't take long, and it can save the interior of your car. All these Corvettes are getting to the age to where if you have a Corvette and you've never done that, guaranteed they need to be replaced. Guys, I'll be lowering the rear end of the Corvette next, so stay tuned for that video. Thanks for watching. Hit the like and subscribe button and have a great day.